Welcome to Write This Down with Maddie Birdcage. I'm Maddie, founder of Birdcage Marketing, Birdcage School, Birdcage Studios, and Birdcage Ocean Voyages. I'm a psychology-informed marketer, serial entrepreneur, and my life's purpose is to make your delusional goals a reality. If you want more than just a business that looks good from the outside, I'm going inside my own brands to share practical, proven strategies that transformed my business from near bankruptcy to building a multi-million-dollar company just 12 months later. Let me give you the weekly aha moments to break free from outdated business and life rules so you can prove them all wrong. And trust me, you'll want to write this down. So in today's live, what I really want to talk to you guys about is the fact that we made a huge announcement yesterday on our socials that we are actually, closing sounds pretty wild, but we are essentially closing down two of our brands. So both the agency and the online school. So we are currently in the midst of that process. So you will still be able to access a lot of our stuff right now. What I really want to go over in this live with you guys is, number one, the reasoning behind what we're doing, because it's not like we close these businesses because things aren't working, but actually because they are working. And something I'm very good at is reading patterns and seeing what is happening in the business landscape, in the marketing landscape. And something that was really important to me was making sure that we adjust our sails in order to capture the best wind. We are on, to use the sailing analogy, we are currently sailing nice and pretty, but we want to go faster. We want to be more efficient. We want to deliver better for our clients and for our students. And staying on the current course is not going to help us achieve that. So I want to go over why we are shutting our marketing agency and our online school, what's going to happen next, and why this is important for you as a brand founder, as someone who works in marketing, as someone who has a marketing function in their role. I'm literally going to be telling you the cheat codes to what is coming in the next couple of years and how you can be at the forefront of it, just like we are. So as I said, we closed our agency and we closed our online school, and it wasn't because it's not working. It's because we could just see that it wasn't going to continue to work forever and ever. And I'm not one to just sit back and let things happen. For us, it's very important that we are always ahead of the curve, and that's why our clients and our students love us. But essentially, the biggest thing that I always say, and I only just said that to Maria a few minutes ago, but what takes us here is not going to take us where we want to go. And where we want to go as marketing people is actually to be helping more and more business owners, more and more brands, more and more marketers, except for the fact that doing it in the way that we've been doing it is not sustainable. And we would probably need a team 300 strong in order to help the amount of people that we actually want to be helping over the next few years. So we had to figure out a way in order to do what we're doing, but at scale without just resorting to courses. And don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to courses and course creators at all. I just think that it can be done better. I think that the way courses are currently done is a bit shit. So we want to do it better, and I think how agencies is a bit shit. So let me rewind for a second, because this part of the story really matters, because this is our 10th year in business. We're going to be having a very exciting 10th birthday party. But when we started Birdcage, when I started the agency, it was 10 years ago, and there was nothing out there for small online businesses. I had come out of agency land after being there for 18 years or something and working with really big businesses. And yet when I had my own side hustles that I had since uni, and I wanted to find marketing support, even though I worked in marketing, there was nothing out there. And if there was, we need a huge freaking budget to do it. And they weren't using online marketing the way that I felt it could be used. So agencies very much were built for corporates. Coaches weren't really a big thing 10 years ago. They certainly have come bigger, but it was like you could get a business coach and that's some old crusty dude or lady, and they were just going to tell you the same things, that you need a huge marketing budget and all of this stuff. There was no middle. And so at that time, it was really important for me that I wanted to create access and systems and real results for people just like me that were entrepreneurial, or who felt that there was opportunity in the online space to be able to grow their business without doing it the way that big businesses were doing it. And so that's what I did. I made it really cost effective for small businesses to work with me, for online businesses to work with me, for people that didn't want to do the big heavy marketing budgets. I made it very accessible. And thousands of businesses over the last 10 years have gotten support from us, and it actually worked for them. And in that time, the online space has completely shifted, changed, and evolved. Back in the day when I launched the agency, it was like you needed Google search, and that was all you could do. Obviously, with social media coming on board, Facebook ads and TikTok disrupting the scene, so much has changed. So I guess I didn't expect to see where the online space got to, but I'm very excited to see where we've actually landed, and I'm very grateful that little Maddie, 25-year-old, 10 years ago, took that chance to quit her job and to start Birdcage Marketing and do what we've done, because it's led me here. So I guess what I'm really trying to explain is that when the whole reason my businesses started in the first place was because I wasn't trying to chase this title of agency owner or founder or any of that stuff. I was actually trying to solve a problem, and I solved that problem. But now the problem has changed. It has changed again. And what started creeping in, and it's not just happening to us, it's happening across the entire industry. But what we have definitely noticed in the last couple of years is that founders are extremely burnt out from marketing, not because they don't care, but because, I don't know, let us know in the comments if you feel this, but I just feel like everyone is trying to create this Frankenstein marketing situation of blending all of their marketing together using old methods, but then also using new methods as well. And this is why people are overwhelmed, because it's like, what am I meant to prioritize? I know I should be doing a lot of marketing, but what marketing am I actually meant to be doing that's going to hit my immediate results? And this is something we do in our own business. We just had a meeting about a client campaign, and it was like, my big thing was step back. What is the goal that we are trying to achieve right now for this client? It's to get leads coming through. What is the fastest way to get there? And pretty much, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'd say that getting leads, getting sales, that is the number one thing that we all are trying to do as a business, to get more of that. Some brands are in a fortunate position where all they want is brand awareness and community building. So what is the fastest way to reach that? And that is the question that I really encourage you to ask yourself. The other thing that I noticed is that because a lot of founders or leaders or marketing teams internally, because they're feeling so burnt out and overwhelmed, they started relying more and more on agencies to outsource their marketing. And yet the agencies weren't getting it right either, because they were pretty much in exactly the same position. Because they have a strategy, because they didn't have a clear strategy, because they were still trying to have a Frankenstein marketing system where we were using old style marketing plus new style marketing plus future style marketing, they couldn't really pull it together either. And because of that, results were not very strong. The other big thing, and I'm going to say it, there are a lot of bro marketers, and I'm not just saying that they are purely men. It's more an approach to marketing, bro style marketing, that people were literally starting agencies, especially during COVID, because it felt like an easy money grab. It became the new drop shipping. I'm going to start an agency. And that was proved to me 100,000,000% when Maria and I were actually in an Uber coming from a client strategy session. And our Uber driver was like, oh, I own a marketing agency. And when I started asking him questions about it, it was really clear he had no idea what he was doing. He was purely in it to just take brands' money. And it was like, he actually had no idea. He was like, I'll just run some Facebook ads, and then he'd disappear with the client's money because it wasn't working, because he didn't actually know what he was doing. When we started focusing in on, I guess that's kind of the backstory to how we got here. In 2022, I want to say, we started doing this new type of marketing, which we later called our consulting sessions. Well, our new type of service, which we later called our consulting sessions. And what that looked like, that was mainly me, it was only me at the time, working one-on-one with 30 clients at one time, where I would just have sessions with them every 2 weeks, and I would help them write their marketing strategy the way that I would write a marketing strategy. I'd then help them execute their marketing the way that I would execute their marketing. The difference was, I didn't even think there was a market for this service, if I'm completely honest, because I was like, I own a marketing agency. People are going to come to me because they want me to do their marketing for them, but that is actually not true. And what I discovered was this whole group of founders, leaders, internal marketing teams that are like, no, we are fine to do the work. We just want to be told exactly how to do it to get where we want to go. We are sick of just making shit up. We are sick of doing all of the things and not seeing the results. And so these people, they were coming to me, and I booked out pretty fast. I couldn't take more than 30 clients at one time. We booked out really fast on this service, and still to this day, some of those consulting clients are still some of the best results that we have ever created for our clients. And that just goes to show that a hybrid model of working with a marketing advisor, do you see where I'm going here, is actually the most cost-effective and gives you the best results. Now, I know that working with a marketing consultant is not going to be for everyone, because there's so many people that are like, I hate marketing, I don't want to do it, I want to outsource it. To you, I have two questions. Number one, do you hate marketing just because you're so confused by it and it takes a lot of your time? Or do you really just actually hate marketing? I would say most of you, it's the first one. You would probably love your marketing if it was making millions of dollars in sales, wouldn't it? You would be more than happy to jump on your camera and to talk about what you sell or to talk about how you help people, as long as it resulted in getting out of it what you wanted, right? Ha, Mitch. But it's like, if you just had a system that was clear, if you had support to keep your head in the game, you would be happy to show up on camera. You would be, or you or your staff or your team or whoever it might be, but you would be happy to do marketing. And something that I think we always forget is we are in this completely, what a time to be alive is what I'm basically saying, because never before in history have you been able to promote your business for free at scale to millions of people potentially. Back in the 60s, in the Mad Men era, the height of marketing and advertising, you had to pay big bucks to get on TV, to get billboards, to get letterbox drops. The only thing that is comparable to social media, organic social media marketing, and all this stuff that we're doing is actually one-on-one in-person networking. And yet that is one-on-one. You can pretty much do one-on-one relationship-based networking at scale through organic social media and support it with your paid ads campaign and support it with your email. So I just want to give a bit of a reality check there that it's actually kind of wild to think the opportunities that we have, and I think we are taking them for granted a little bit much. So this is what I believe is actually happening now in marketing and with customer sentiment. Keeping in mind my area of expertise certainly is strategy, it certainly is marketing psychology, and it's also content creation and basically just like getting inside people's heads. That's kind of my superpower, and something that I always like to say though is that I'm using it for good, not for evil. So I very distinctly work with brands that are purpose-driven, that are trying to make the world a better place, that are doing all the right things. Because there's a lot of, if you come on a discovery call and you're like, I'm just selling plastic shit, sorry, I can't work with you. So this is what I believe, and take some notes, guys. The future belongs to brands who operate from the inside out, not from the outside in. What do I mean by that? I mean that your marketing actually has to come from inside your business. If you want to get to where you want to go, the quickest and the most cost-effective way, the most profitable way, it is doing marketing from inside your business. And you're going to hate that, because you're going to be like, I just wanted to outsource my marketing. I just wanted to give it to someone else, to make it someone else's problem, and I can go focus on stuff that I feel confident in. Again, let me reiterate, the reason why you don't feel confident in your marketing is because there's too much noise and you don't have a clear system. That's all that is. It's because speed, authenticity, and strategy, that is the new growth formula. It used to in the past be like Canva templates were the growth formula, paid ads were the growth formula. Even email marketing had its time, which I think we've kind of gone backwards on a little bit there. But the growth formula now, it's really how fast can you execute? How authentic can you be? And I'm not talking about crying on camera. I will talk about authenticity. But then what does your strategy look like? That is the secrets to success. And the best part about that is it doesn't matter what platforms are coming on board, because your strategy doesn't change. You just adapt to the platform. So where we see our role is really to
install clarity where you currently have chaos. And I believe that if we focus on doing that with you, rather than just taking your marketing off your hands, you paying us a monthly retainer and essentially renting results, if we can help you create marketing from inside your business, you will be better off, not just in the long term, but in the short term as well. Now, I want to give one little caveat statement here. I think there is still a place. I could go on here and rant about the fact that agencies are dead. The agency model is dead. I don't think that is the case. I don't think that, well, I think the way that agencies are a lot of them are currently set up, that where it's very individual platform focused, I think they're done. But I do believe that a strategy-based agency that can do some heavy lifting for their clients, that is still a relevant service. The difference is you as the client. You still need to be involved. You still need to be showing up on your agency's calls. You still need to be giving feedback to the content that's coming through. You still need to be feeding your agency really good, strong content regularly. And if you can't do that, then outsourcing to an agency isn't going to work at all. So the ideal situation that we have is that we are actually consulting and advising with brands so that they can do marketing from inside their business. But there is also an option with our new model that if you prove to us that you're going to be a present client, we can still do elements of your outsourced marketing, but you can't just leave us to our own devices and expect us to grow your business, because I might as well just grow my own business if you're not going to give me anything to support me with. And that might be a controversial take. You might say, well, if you're a good enough agency, you should be able to act independently of your brand. No, it's because, as I keep saying, the future belongs to brands who operate from the inside out. Your customers are expecting more than just buying and selling product or services. Your customers are expecting an entire immersive journey that you need to be taking them on, and marketing is the best way for you to do that. Another thing I want to say to you is that I really believe that marketing is the most important system in your business, and it's not a department that you can just blindly outsource or blindly hire your niece or something to come and do your marketing and tick the box. Founder-led brands having a face of the business, you don't have to be a founder-led brand, but you do need some sort of face of the business. That is what is driving the market, right? That is what is getting the results the fastest. And if you are just outsourcing to an agency or using a tactic-based program, that is too external, it's too vague, and it's too slow. Yesterday, for example, we posted our funeral and video. Hang on, I'm just gonna give everyone the work phone. They need the work phone. We posted our funeral video yesterday. Guess when we filmed that video? That morning. So we filmed a cinematic quality video at 2 locations that morning, and by that afternoon it was edited and it was live. And that's probably what brought you here, right? That is how quickly I need you to react. And outsourcing to an agency is not going to give you that, because you'll speak to your account service, they speak to their internal teams, and they'll come back with a brief, and then that needs internal approval, and that takes weeks to execute. If you can act quickly, that is what is going to give you the result. Speed. All right. What we're essentially doing with shutting down the agency and the school as 2 separate things is that we are walking away from models that they are successful on paper, but they're disconnected from how people actually buy and grow today. I've always said that you can tell if an agency is running a brand's content. It feels very disconnected. The way that we have always worked around that is that we supplement with internal client content with the agency content as well. The other way that we get around it is obviously by having a really solid psychology-based strategy. And so we essentially become an extension of the business. So it's almost like we are inside their business doing their thing for them. So if your agency is willing to go to those lengths, then you're probably still safe. But apart from us and a few agencies that I have worked with, well, a few dozen agencies that I've worked with, compared to the scale of what agencies exist in the world right now, I just don't think that that is how most agencies operate, and that is the problem. So in short, I guess what I want to explain, the reason why we are essentially shutting down our online school plus the agency is because we believe that there is a better way to deliver what we are doing that sits in more of an advisory role. Advisors can still do marketing for their clients, and we still plan on doing that for the right clients, who the clients that we trust won't just walk away from us as soon as we start picking things up. And the clients that we currently have on our books and that we are keeping and retaining, they are definitely those types of people. But as a whole, we want people to come to us as an advisory rather than as Band-Aid fix. And I think that is probably the biggest shift that we are creating by stepping into this new advisory business. So let's talk about, does anyone have questions specifically around where I think marketing is going, where I think agencies are going? Don't even get me started on courses. I feel like most of the courses that exist out there are absolute bullshit, especially anyone that's on a digital marketing journey, just reselling someone else's bullshit course. That actually frustrates me more than I could ever tell you. And so that in combination with the whole bad name that agencies have because so many agencies have ripped off that many brands in the past. For us, it was really important that we separate ourselves from those negative connotations as well. We don't want to be known as a course because we're more than that. We don't want to be known as an agency because we're more than that. That's why we've become an advisory. So this next step for Birdcage, what does it look like? Our systems and how we do marketing and how we teach marketing and how we do our own marketing and how we want you to do your marketing, that doesn't change. That hasn't changed. That is all still the same because it works really well. Your mic is shut out. Should still be there. Thank you. I hope it's still working. It's immersive psychology-led marketing where we embed the strategy into your business, not just giving you external advice and just hoping for the best. And we have a system that we use that works, that pretty much condenses your marketing time into just a couple of hours a month once you get this happening. Yes, sorry. I do want to make very clear to current clients and current students, you're not getting locked out of the programs. The programs are coming with us. The programs are still real and good and solid. I guess it's more just that how we are showcasing our programs, the new way of branding what we do and how we do it is a more accurate representation of what we actually do. Because if you are in one of our programs, that it's not just here's a course and bye-bye, that we are so invested in what we do with you. We give away coaching calls all the time. We are doing regular group sessions with you. We are in your DMs chatting with you. We are not just buy a course from us and see you later, and we needed to be able to separate that. So let me explain to you how an advisory service actually works, how a consulting service actually works, because I think those are words that are like, what does that actually mean? What it actually means is, and we are calling ourselves angel advisors as well. So it's Birdcage Angel Advisors. And the biggest thing with where we're going is that you basically get paired with one of our senior advisors. We're only having senior team members who will be doing the actual consulting and the sessions. And they basically become a partner within your business, except you don't have to pay us dividends. Unless you want to. We'll take tips, right? But essentially you pay us a monthly fee. At the beginning of the sessions that we do with you, we actually write your strategy for you. Then we work with you every 2 weeks through a 1-hour session. We work with you to make sure you are doing what you need to do as if we were doing your marketing for you, but you're actually doing it from inside your business. Now, in between that, you also get unlimited email and voice note support. So if you're trying to shoot content and you're having a freaking meltdown, you can voice note us. If it's really bad, we'll call you and be like, let's get our shit together. Let's figure out how we're going to do this. And the reason why we have this model is because this is the same model that I used in my team internally when I was looking at getting all of my content back pumping again, probably 12 months ago when I threw all my toys out of the pram and kind of lost direction. I worked with our content strategist, Max. Every few days we would have calls. Sometimes, and this is how you can use a session, sometimes you can sit with the Google meeting live and you can be recording content while we sit with you on the session, and we will literally workshop the content you are recording with you. This is what an advisor does. We're not just going to take this stuff off you and be like, oh, we'll just do it for you. We'll just use some AI robot person and pretend to be you, because that's not going to work. We will make sure your marketing works from inside your business. Not just that, but we make sure it works so that it doesn't burn you out. So we can give you back control. So you can stop feeling like the bottleneck in your business. So you can lead your brand with confidence, not just confusion. Because whilst marketing, sure, that is an aspect of your business, I believe it is like the lifeline of your business. If you don't have good marketing, then good luck to you. How the hell are you going to sell anything? How are you going to get fresh customers in? How are you going to get sales in? Without sales, you don't have a finance department. You don't have product development. You don't have anything like that. So marketing needs to be your first step, and it's your lifeline. So what we are going to be doing with this new, species of support, I'd like to call it embedded strategists. We install marketing inside of your business with your help. And as a founder, yes, great. It'd be great to work with you as a founder. But if you are responsible for marketing inside a team, we can work with you directly. And that's why we actually have two separate angel consulting packages, where one is for founders specifically who are typically scaling to that 1 million mark. And we have one for marketing teams who are past the 7-figure mark. But with that, there's more money in the business, but typically there's also a lot more chaos because you have teams to manage. You have marketing teams or sales teams or specialists or whatever it might be. There's other people that we need to get the machine working internally. And quite often in that sense, the founder has actually stepped back from the business. And so they're not too interested to be step back, but then they're not too interested on showing up every single day and being the face of the brand. And the best part about our strategy is we can work with both of those two scenarios. And that's where we get incredible results happening. So does anyone have questions? I know I've ranted for about half an hour now, but I really needed to get a lot of this out. Does anyone have questions they really want me to answer, specifically regards to, what we believe the future of marketing looks like, what your marketing should look like? You can potentially work with us, because I actually have, to all of the people, TikTok and Instagram, to everyone that is currently sitting here, and this is also going to be our podcast episode for this week, there is actually a launch offer that I will be giving to people listening, because we are basically like waiting at the gate. I want you to imagine all of our advisors waiting at the gate, standing there, lined up in our black suits, looking chic as fuck. Sorry. We are waiting to start working with more and more brands. And this is what happens when we don't have all of our resources dedicated to just one brand and doing their marketing. We are able to help so many more people achieve so many more results. And I guess, like, a purpose-driven perspective, I do believe that the world can get better through business. I know business is responsible for a lot of shit things in this world, really bad things in this world, but my intention with my business is to make the world a better place. And pretty much everyone that we've worked with in the last few years, that's their intention as well. By sharing what they're passionate about, by sharing what they do best, their expertise, get them heard, get them listened to, get them seen by the right audiences so they can do more of that with more people who can benefit from their help and expertise, so that the world is better through what they love to do. So yeah, if anyone has questions, I don't know if we had any questions from earlier in the, no, nothing, just blocking weirdos. I have questions around what you should be doing with your marketing, what you're an agency owner, what does this mean for you potentially? Like, how can you take on our methods and our approach and offer a better service? You don't necessarily need to go and kill your agency like I did, but you can certainly start to integrate some of the ways that we work with our clients into your agency services. And that's what we've been doing for a really long time. But we've gotten to a point now where it's like, we need to show up in a way that actually feels authentic and aligned to us and how we are working with our clients, because it's so much deeper than just outsourcing to an agency. Okay, so we did have a question. I'm a solo marketer and I've loved doing it all, but now have so many clients. How are you managing all your content creation, vids, etc.? If you're struggling with management, there's two options for you. You can, one, grow your team, and you can keep growing your team, but this means is that for every client that you onboard, you essentially need a team member to be able to service them, right? The other option is to do what we're doing, which is switching to more of an advisory solution. And that's why we're doing it. It's part of the reason we're doing it, so that we can help more people. So we don't have long wait lists, and we don't constantly booked out, and people aren't buying our courses simply because they can't get in with our agency services. Any other questions? Okay. One more thing that I kind of really home as well, it's the fact that if you're outsourcing your marketing and just like, you are essentially outsourcing your power. Because if you know how to get attention from the right people, build trust with the right people, and drive sales through organic social media especially, but paid ads as well, email marketing as well, through your website, all of these things. If you know how to do that from within your business, that's where the power lies. Never outsource offshore, as it is a clusterfuck. Absolutely. I'm not even talking about, like, not even in my world, there's no way that I would ever do that. Actually, some person sent me a message on TikTok yesterday and was like, help me, I paid $100 to have my website built and they haven't built it. And I'm like, because you paid $100. Like, bye. Okay, if you are I'd love to talk about, first of all, if you do want to go and download more info about our process, the proof that we have that we know what we're doing, as well as the packages that we offer, you can head to our website. Sloan, would you mind just dropping the website URL in the chat for everyone so that they can go and jump over to our website and you can download the package list there? Like, literally just included everything there. And the website, it's brand new. We built it in a very short amount of time, but it's like success loves speed, my friends. So more important for me that we focus on other aspects of marketing than making sure the website is absolutely perfect. Another thing, your marketing should be making sure that people go to your website already sold on what you sell. So you shouldn't be like hardcore selling through your website anyway, because if you're doing that, it means that your marketing to get them there hasn't been performing the way it should be. I want to talk about 2 packages that we are currently on for our new business evolution. It is the scaling to $1 million. So typically they are founder businesses. So you might just be you in the business. It might be you and a sidekick or maybe a very small team. But this is the type of business that benefits the most if you can show up as a founder-led business, be a face of your business, show inside your business. And I know people tell you to do that all the time, but you're like, what does that mean? Well, we'll show you what that means. And most importantly, yes, we might be asking you to show up as a founder-led business now, but the way that we do it, the way that we write your strategy, the way that we figure out how your business needs to show up and it needs to create a movement, a revolution, even a rebellion, you can then extract yourself from that once your business hits that $1 million mark. So what that looks like to work with us. So it is a 12-month container that we work with you over the period of a year. 100% of our consulting clients that we've ever worked with have all hit their initial goals within 6 months of working with us. So typically when we get to that, so any goal you have, expect that to be reached within 6 months. But the reason it's a 12-month retainer is because we're going to push you to do even better, to get even better results, to go even higher. So it's a 12-month container where you work one-on-one with your dedicated. There may be instances where we get some specialists to pop in from our team if there's something very specific we need to go through with you. But typically it's like your best friend who understands business, who understands marketing, who understands you and your goals. And the first thing we actually do is write your strategy for you. So this strategy is worth $7,000, which we will write for you in the first couple of weeks on a couple of calls that we have with you, and based on our questions, our signature set of questions, like very special questions that during the call, even you will have so much clarity just coming from the fact that we asked you something that no one else has asked you. And you're like, in a minute, bingo. That just released a huge hit of clarity for me. So we do that. And then we start every 2 weeks. We have 60-minute calls with you. They are recorded because there's a mixture of brainstorming and then advising and mindset work that comes along with it as well. So we then do that for you every 2 weeks. We give you an action list of what you need to actually be doing in order to roll out the next stages. We keep you accountable. It's your homework. We make sure you do it. We also have email and voice support in between the sessions. So if you start freaking out, which you won't because you'll feel so clear, but if you do need that extra support, we have that, which we give to you. You also get access to the full library program. So that is our flagship. I mean, it is a course, but it's more than a course. This is the problem we have in saying that we sell courses. But you get access to that full library program, which gives you all the additional training that you might have where, let's just say you want to install your Facebook pixel or something. There's a training on how to do that. You don't have to waste your sessions looking through those basic tech things because you can just search up the right video and you get access to that. And that program alone is worth close to $5,000 a year. Okay, so if you are interested in coming on board for one of those types of packages, the full cost of them is going to be sitting somewhere around the $3,000 a month mark. So you don't have to pay for the strategy up front or anything like that. It's just a monthly fee that gets billed out every month for 12 months. But what we are actually doing, we are going to be running a very special price. Now, actually, let me quickly look up the US dollar conversion, because I know there's a few of you from overseas. And so because our dollar is not performing very well, it does feel very expensive. So in US dollars, this package, it's $1,900 a month. So that is extremely affordable for you guys for a solopreneur, for someone scaling to $1 million a year, that is a really affordable package. But if you want to send me a DM directly now or after this session, then we'll actually share with you our foundational consulting package prices, which haven't actually technically been released. But because you're listening to this and you're on this live, I'll give it to you. The next option is our optimization of the marketing machine. So that is the next package. That is if you are already doing over $1 million a year in sales. That's if you have a marketing team inside of your business already. It is for bigger brands, right? So that package, it is $5,000 a month, and you get pretty much the same level of access. So fortnightly calls plus the in-between support, but we actually do a much bigger strategy for you. So that strategy is usually around the $15,000, $20,000 mark that we will do for you at the first stage. And we audit all of your existing platforms, and it's very much about how do we get this marketing machine to work, not just from a strategy perspective, because that's obviously what we do, but also from an internal team's workflows perspective. So like processes, templates, all of that kind of stuff. Which you get in the other program as well, but this is definitely more for a bigger business, a bigger team. And we also work with you in a way to, if the founder isn't the one that wants to be on camera, being the face of the business, we find the solutions around that as well. So that is, again, there is going to be a launch discount on that package. So if that is you and your business, then make sure you shoot us a DM or now or after this live or after this podcast episode, because there is going to be a very good incentive for you to be joining at those rates instead of waiting for when we actually go to our regular pricing. So I've spoken enough now. Does anyone want to chat about anything else? Well, ask me any questions. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm really excited for this next stage of business. I'm thinking that it's going to be a super interesting time for us. It's been interesting to see where the responses already come from. I think the biggest thing to take away is not so much that we have stopped doing what we do best. It is that we have consolidated our businesses into one solution. Oh, I didn't mention. So what's happening with the school courses and everything, we're actually going to be putting them through and giving and doing some updates to them. So if you're already in them, you will get those updates. Don't worry about that. We're going to be doing updates to them so that we can give you, so that they more closely mirror what we are doing through our consulting packages as well. So essentially they're like a self-install, DIY install of our marketing constellation, but that's what those packages are going to look like. So we are not stopping what we're doing best. We are consolidating what we're doing into one direction and more accurately reflecting the value that we actually give to our clients and give to the brands that we work with beyond just a course, beyond just an agency, because we are so much more than that. And yeah, I think it's time that we accurately reflect that. So, all right, well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to go and have some lunch. If you want to shoot me a DM and be considered for one of those foundational packages that we are launching for our angel consulting services, make sure you send me a DM. If you want to go to our website and download our process, our proof, and our standard packages, then make sure you go and do that. But otherwise, watch this space, because we did another very exciting, we did 2 shoots yesterday, and I can't wait to share it all with you guys. So thanks everyone. Bye-bye.